Hello, my wonderful and amazing people of God. I greet you all in the name of God, and I bring you all good tidings. How on that day? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, we are on this matter again. Me, I always like when I hear advice from a counsel, a lawyer, when a counsel actually advises you and tell you your rights and what the law says about certain things that we all take for granted sometimes. We are here again bringing DPA to explain to us how our very dark man is digging his own problem, is bringing more issues to himself, how he might be going back to, you know, how they might revolt his bail terms, how, he probably is not obeying the terms of his bills that he gave to him. So I'm going to let you all listen to him. But before I do that, please, if you know you have not started following my channel, please subscribe. My name is Patience, and this channel is Patience Vlogs. Patience Vlogs. VLOGS. V as in Victor. VLOGS. Please subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that each time I upload a video like this, these teachable videos, so that you will know it, you'll be notified. And maybe this one will help if our brother, our VDM play this, maybe he will try to apologize to these people involved and know that all fingers are not equal. Please listen. And I'm working late. I took a break to go through some of the latest events on Nigerian social media. And there is something I kept coming across. One particular subject matter has been out there. Apparently, there is a fight involving someone attacked Obi Kubana, and then several issues came up. There is only one thing I want to say, and I do it for the purpose of DPA members. It is my duty to explain things and to teach you things concerning the law and to improve your knowledge of the law and your knowledge of the society. Because for you to succeed in life, you need to have a good understanding of your society, of your environment. Exactly. You need to have a good situational awareness to know what is happening, to know the implications of what you do. And one aspect of that is to know about the law. So the subject matter I want to discuss today is that someone thinks that you have to name somebody in order to defame the person. You think that if you don't mention the name of a person, you have not defamed the person, or you cannot defame the person because you did not mention the name of the person. That is absolute ignorance, complete ignorance, and dangerous. And I'm not entirely surprised. I have observed Nigerian community, Nigerian society in the past 8 years, since 2016, when I began to spend a lot of time in Nigeria. One thing I noticed, and I blame the government of Nigeria for that, is that many Nigerians are not properly educated. They are not aware of the environment. There's a high level of gullibility. And that is why some people become champions. You see people emerge on social media and become famous, followed by millions. Those people sometimes are completely silly. But because they speak the language millions of gullible people understand, they become famous. Let me warn you, if you're a DPA member, you don't need to mention a person by name for you to defame the person. I'm already seeing somebody challenging the world to show a video where I call the name of somebody. You don't have to call her name. As long as people understood who you were referring to.
Thank you.
That was clear. That you defame that person or cyberbully that person. You don't have to call the name. It's the most asinine argument, and it shows again what I pointed out. High level of ignorance. High level of ignorance. People without education, they come and talk nonsense and become famous and are followed by millions of people. It's a pity. Okay? I'm sure I haven't mentioned the name of the person I'm talking about now, have I? But you understand who he is.
Exactly.
Human beings are not stupid. You don't have to mention people's name for us to know. And by the way, when they said that you mentioned the name of the person or you defamed the person, and you knew that wasn't true, that wasn't the person you meant, you're supposed to come forward and say, oh, no. Of course, that was not the person I meant. I meant someone else, and any reference to that person is wrong. Please, no, I disclaim that. I did not defame that woman. She wasn't the one I was talking about. I meant someone else. In fact, this is someone else I meant. You didn't do that. You didn't disclaim it. You kept quiet. Indeed, you came out and began to justify what you said. Justify the attribution. Justify, indeed, making the argument that the person you were accused of defaming was indeed the person you defamed. And let me tell you something else you don't know. I said it earlier, but I'm sure this message did not get to the person. If you're on bail for any offense, and you commit the same offense, they will revoke your bail. So I'm so sorry that somebody doesn't understand that his statements will be given to the judge who granted him bail, and the prosecution will request the judge to revoke his bail. And if they revoke your bail, you're going back to remand. You'll be on remand while your trial is going on. Even if you are acquitted at the end of the trial, it could take 8 months to a year to complete your trial. And if you are in prison, you cannot communicate from prison. Even if you have a phone, you cannot communicate from prison. The prison officials will be watching you like an eagle. So if you use the phone, they will catch you, they will stop you. If you try, they put you in isolation. So I don't know. Something is wrong with Nigerians. Something is very wrong with our country. It doesn't matter. I warned you. I said, once your opponent manages to get the police to file a criminal indictment against you, it doesn't matter how they did it. Even if they did it by bribing, whatever they did, by filing a criminal indictment against you, your opponents have stepped out. And in their place, they put the court there. Anything you do is going to be treated by the judge as direct effrontery against the judge. If your enemy manages to get criminal indictment against you, you are now against the state. You got to watch every move you make. You got to be super careful. Otherwise, you don't get it. I know I have gone through this. I came to Nigeria. I challenged certain people. The people I challenged did not come to fight me directly. I knew they couldn't fight me directly because I was right. I had the law on my side. But that was a mistake I made, which I hope nobody else should make in Nigeria. They use the court system to neutralize you. So once they manage to put an indictment against you, it doesn't matter, even if it is fabricated. You are now against the state. And the state is this invisible entity that doesn't die, that has limited resources, and that will fight you. Look at my experience with the EFCC. I had a fight here in Washington with Ambassador Defame. He went, bribed the EFCC chairman, and they arrested me in Nigeria. I was so confident, so sure that I did nothing wrong. I had the law, I understood the law, I knew that if they followed the law, they would not even arrest me, even indict me, how much less convict me. But I was wrong. Nigeria will not follow the law. Nigerian government will not follow the law. Once they've decided to eliminate you, the law is the last thing they will consider. That is the difference between Nigeria and other countries that are civilized.
This is huge.
So it is terrible.
Very dark man.
It is stupidity. When you are in a criminal indictment accused of bullying a person, a particular person, you come out of on bail and you attack the person. You persistently attack the person. You harass the person. That is stupidity. You are no longer fighting with this person. You are fighting with the state. So all they need to do is to take all these posts you are making, take it to the judge, tell the judge, hey, this man came out, and look at how you can't attack a complainant. You can't attack a complainant. All you can do is to wait, lie low, defend yourself, win the case, and then you sue the complainant for malicious prosecution. But you must win first before you sue them for malicious prosecution. EFCC tried me for 12 years. There was nothing they didn't do. There was no lie they didn't lie. That was how I knew that EFCC is a highly corrupt, most corrupt agency in Nigeria. But I couldn't say it when I was in trial. I had to win the case, defeat them. And when I defeated EFCC, I tell them now that EFCC is the most corrupt agency in Nigeria. I'm not afraid of them. Why? Because I'm not on bail with EFCC. So I want somebody, you know the person I'm talking about. He's making a fundamental mistake. He doesn't understand how the system works. He thinks he will be popular in prison. No, when remanded in prison, you won't be popular.
Exactly.
No, you don't have room for that. So be very careful. Don't come and say, I didn't mention a name. I didn't mention her name. Show me where I mentioned her name. Stupid. Do you think the society is that backward? Everybody understood the person you are talking about. In fact, the fact that there is a doubt as to who you are talking about puts you in trouble. You're supposed to do everything to avoid any insinuation that you defame the wrong person. It's not the woman you are defaming, you know. It's not the woman you're fighting now. You're fighting the judge. So the judge granted you bail. The judge said, to grant you bail, they're saying, hey, he's not a threat. He'll be peaceful. He will abide by law when granted bail. If you look at bail application everywhere, there are things the defense lawyer will argue. Defense will say, he has no criminal record. 2, investigation is over, so he will not interfere with investigation if granted bail. 3, he will not reoffend. If granted bail, he will not reoffend, threaten the complainant or witnesses or interfere with witnesses. And finally, there is a credible surety to guarantee the terms of his bail. Based on these things, you are granted bail. The first thing you did when you came out is you began to attack the person again, began to threaten her for taking you to court. I wanted to keep quiet. I didn't want to come into this thing because, as you know, my experience with Nigerian society convinced me that there's a high level of gullibility. If not that I like to talk to DPA members, I don't care about the Nigerians that are not DPA members because it doesn't matter what you do for them. They're gullible, they will attack you. So people will be cheering you. Oh, you are this, wonderful. You are taking on the big people in the country. You are joking. You can't take on the big people in the country. No. Who are you? Are you Abiola? Are you who? Abiola died in detention. Yaradua Senior died in detention.
Wow.
I Emekub when you came, I thought I could take them on the way I did. I thought that, oh, if Emeka was arrested in Nigeria, United States will come in and make... United States will not come in. They don't give a shit about it. You have to understand that. You saw what happened in Lekki in 2020. Many people were killed at Lekki. Did America come in? Did United Nations come in?
No.
They're nothing to them. You have to understand.
We're here calling them.
So you can't, if you threaten the big people, you are a phone call to the IG of police that this guy is a threat, is a nuisance. People will understand. They will make application, and the judge will deny you bail. And will revoke your bail, put you in prison, try your case. They'll spend 4 years trying your case. You'll be in prison. Don't mess around. Don't mess around. I hear somebody telling people you learn the hard way. You're going to learn the hard way. So, and for you, the ordinary Nigerian, you're so ignorant, you are supporting crap, sharing. When this person is arrested and thrown into detention, what will happen? You will share the other side. The police could come up with allegations. They can fabricate anything against him. You're not dealing with a clean system. You're dealing with a highly corrupt system. If you want to fight them, you got to do it right. But also, I warn, don't make the mistake of thinking that if you don't name a person, you haven't defamed him. No. No. If you make attributions such that a reasonable person can infer that you are referring to a particular person, you are referring to that particular person.
Exactly.
The test is, what would a reasonable person do? And how do we know what you are doing? We look at what you have said in the past 2 weeks or 2 months. We pull up your statements, pull up your conflicts and controversies, and know who you could be referring to. It is that woman. And when the woman thought you were referring to her and began to explain herself to say, no, I was actually invited. You're supposed to come out and say, no, ma'am, I never meant you. No. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I never referred to this woman. You didn't do that. No. Did you? So I just don't know. If I were defending a person out of bail,
now pride, they worried.
You are not going to talk. I blame his lawyer. I blame his lawyers.
Maybe he's not even listening to them.
If you know you cannot control your client, shut up, resign. I once represented, one of the challenges I had in the Nnamdi's case was because I knew I could not control Nnamdi Kanu. I knew he would not follow my advice. I knew he would not be quiet. I knew he would keep talking. And I knew the implications. If you want to deal with the system, be tactical, understand the limits of your power, understand the power of the opponent, be calculated. So, Nnamdi Kanu, remember his case? He was granted bail. He made choices. I don't blame him. If you want to die a revolutionary, a freedom fighter, fine. We say, sure, you're a martyr. You sacrificed yourself. Up to you. Congratulations. We salute you. But don't do something and expect something else. You should learn from Nnamdi's case. When Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, he didn't really commit any offense. There was no offense, really. They charged him of entering Nigeria without going through immigration inspection. Yes, remember when you're coming into the country, you're going to pass through immigration, they stamp your passport. Anywhere in the world, it is done. So, he came through Benin, uninspected. It's a minor thing. That was the only thing they could have had against him. But because they needed to silence Nnamdi Kanu, because they needed to shut him down, because they didn't want to hear anything about Biafra, they accused him of terrorism. They accused him of treason. Because you see, the DSS wanted to detain Nnamdi Kanu in their custody. They want to get involved in the case. But the DSS cannot come in because of immigration violation. So to justify their presence, EFCC came up with treason and terrorism under the new Terrorism Act and detained him. You saw look at where it led the country. Look at the mess. Look at the mess. So you need to understand the system you're dealing with. If you are facing criminal trial, please. I mean, okay, yes, you can respect Nnamdi Kanu. He's fighting big fight, treason and terrorism, big stuff. So his supporters will see him as political prisoner and all that. But for you, bullying, cyberbullying law is a petty crime. They'll put you there, but cause you to suffer as if you committed treason. So it is the lawyer's fault. If I represent you, if you come out, I will tell you what to do. I said, do this. When Nnamdi Kanu was given the first bail, the judge gave him impossible conditions. Impossible conditions. There was no way he would not violate those conditions. Right there in court, I said, you gotta vary these terms. Vary the conditions. Vary the conditions.
This is great lesson.
Because the judge said he could not have a rally or meet with people meet with a gathering of more than 10 people. That was terrible because Nnamdi Kanu's family alone had more than 10 people. So that means if he was having dinner with his family, he would be violating bail conditions. So he should just apply to vary the terms. But he didn't apply to vary the terms. He began to have rallies. That was a trap. So my friend, if you're on bail, however innocent you think you are, however persecuted you think you are, I want you to understand that the people you are fighting now are no longer the original people who complained. You are facing a judge. So the judge is going to look at whatever you do as insult against the judge, and the judge has tremendous powers. The power to remand you and leave you to the system. What I call the system in Nigeria is, okay, in the United States, if they remand you, your trial will be out very soon, very fast. You're not going to be there. Nigeria can remand you for nothing and keep you there for 6 years awaiting trial. 90%, 85% of people in Nigerian prison have not been convicted. Do you know that 85% of all the people in Nigerian prisons have not been convicted? And 70% of those people would never be convicted. And most of those that will be convicted out of frustration because they've stayed there for too long, that they've stayed there longer than the time they would have been sent to prison for if found guilty. In other words, in Nigeria, if they accuse you of stealing, however innocent you are, if you say, yes, I'm guilty, they will sentence you. They may give you 3-4 years.
Like Bobrisky.
Now, if you say, no, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, and you didn't really do it, the judge will say, okay, trial will go on, but remanded. They can remand you in prison for 5 years for an offense that would have carried 3 years if you were convicted, if you had pled guilty. So, that is the system. So, please get it. If you're a DPA member now, and I want you to know tonight that you don't need to mention a person's name to defame the person. The standard of law is clear. It has existed for hundreds of years. All these principles I'm explaining to you now are not commonsensical. They took centuries to build. Okay? So, as some of you like to Google things, right? Nigerians like to Google things and listen to every gossip on Google, but they don't Google the right things. If you Google the right things, ask Google now, can you defame a person without mentioning that person's name? Ask Google, and Google will answer it in the one sentence, yes, you can.
Wow.
And let me also tell you something. You can actually defame a person without saying that the person did a bad thing. Oh, yes. For instance, if you see a reverend, a priest, and you say, that's a good businessman, that could be defamatory.
Wow.
That could be defamatory. Because you are portraying him in a negative light. in a light that's the force. He's a man preaching the faith, and you're depicting him as a trader. You are telling people, hey, be careful, don't listen to him, he's making money out of you. He's driven by profit. If you tell a priest, let's say Catholic priest, the ones I'm very familiar with, if you go out there and point at a Catholic priest and say, hey, this man is profit driven, that could be defamatory. Yet, it won't be defamatory if you say that about a trader. So the law is not stupid. The law, legal reasoning, is not based on the Nigerian gullible person's reasoning. It took centuries to build up. So please don't say you did not defame anybody because you didn't mention the person's name. Show me the person's name. If it appears before the judge, they won't even listen to you. Bail revoked. Okay? And if bail revoked, you don't know where you are. Okay? So be serious, guys.
That is not
don't
good.
joke.
If the bail is
Okay?
revoked,
Don't joke.
that's
Society
not a
is so
good thing at all.
gullible. How can somebody be causing so much controversy and claiming so much powers that he doesn't have? Who told you can do anything you like? Who told you? Oh, you've got power to shake the system. You know, you bring down, I'm going to take down all the big people. You're joking, man. If they put you in prison, they will they will tell the in charge, this guy is troublesome. They will put you in isolation. In isolation, you will be there. You won't see anybody. They pass your food from a little hole in the wall. Okay? So don't dare the system. You know, and by the way, I'm not telling brave people not to fight the system. I have fought the system. I knew the risks I took. In my own case, I was defending a client I wanted to get to. The police didn't want me to see the man. They were holding him somewhere, torturing him. They knew if I saw him, he was tortured. They needed to get first confession from him before he would see a lawyer. So that led to an argument between me and the police. And the police said they would detain me. When they said they would detain me, it was just a threat. They didn't mean it. But I wanted to be detained because I wanted to see the guy in detention. I wanted to be detained there. So my lawyers who came with me said, no, barrister, no. How can somebody like you be detained in that place? I said, no, let them detain me. They detained me. And when I got to that place, I saw the worst atrocity ever. The worst atrocity committed by the Nigerian police that made what was happening in Libya, you know, then when the United Nations got involved in Libya, they were selling people and all those things. It made what happened in Libya little. So I felt, wow, I have witnessed this now, and I'm going to open the eyes of the country and inform the people so that they will stop it. Nonsense. They quickly ganged up all the police officers involved. Pam, seal the thing, Pam, threw me to court, Pam. And when you're in court, you were. When I was fighting the EFCC, do you know something that happened? I was on bail. I continued criticizing Farida Waziri, the chairman of the EFCC, and the ambassador. I was calling them corrupt. I was writing and saying these things. Then one of the lawyer, the EFCC hired Kayamu, wrote a letter to the judges that they should revoke my bail. I mean, from an American perspective, it made no sense. Why revoke the bail of a man saying the truth? So I thought, the judge, wonderful, wonderful judge, she looked at me and said, you got to stop. You got to stop writing against these people. Don't mention them again in anything you write. If you do, I will have to revoke your bail. I got the message.
He's speaking from experience.
I got the message. If you notice all the time that were harassing me in Nigeria, no judge ever revoked seized my passport or anything. So they always allowed me to travel back and forth, go to US and back. They always did. The judges are also nice people. They're under pressure sometimes. So, but if I began to attack the chairman of the EFCC while on bail, the judge will be forced to silence me. So when you're on bail, shut up. When you're on bail, damn, shut up. All this wisdom, all these great things you think you knew, and all this wisdom and smartness and extraordinary quality, you're a champion. You're not a champion, man. Nothing. It's going to take just very little to put you out of circulation. Okay? So learn from it, guys. Thank you.
I don't hear so. This man is he's trying to help us Nigerians. So whether you're in Nigeria, living in Nigeria, you're in Nigeria, living in the diaspora, he's trying to help us. I hope all of us don't hear now. Those of us that will be defaming people, harassing people, bullying people on social media, I hope all of you don't hear now. Anyway, please share this video. Thank you. God bless you.